Hello and welcome to our Agile Hive data center review for February of 2026. This is the first review for this year. So in case you haven't heard it already, Happy New Year. I think we could still say that even though it's a month in already. As you have probably seen when you entered this the review, or you're just overheard me announcing it, we are going to record this video or this review, and we're going to share the video afterwards on YouTube, so everybody can have a chance to see what we did in the last 1.5 months, actually, because there was no review in January. Later. The next review is going to take place on the 3rd of March. So we're different here from our previous 4-week schedule. We are now having the review every first Tuesday of the month at 15 o'clock Central European Time. Everybody who's here might have gotten a memo already. For everybody who's watching it later, we are going to add a link to our review page, and there you can download or import an ICS file into your calendar to keep up to date with the reviews. Coming back to the notice about the recording here, we are sharing it on YouTube. So if you want to share anything, ask a question or anything, please be mindful about what you share. In case you don't want to be seen on the review, please disable your camera for that, or turn off your camera for that. And yeah, as I said, otherwise be mindful about what you share, because it might be seen publicly. So let's start with the features, improvement, and bug fixes block, or the what have we been up to in the last 1.5 months, since the last review was on the 16th of December. We'll start with a couple of bug fixes. We had the issue that art issues which had a sprint assigned to them appeared in this translucent or transparent state on our art planning board, and also did not show any dependencies. As you see the gray edge over here, this indicates that this issue actually has a dependency in this example to the second feature issue here, which is not being shown, and that is due to the sprint that is assigned to the issue, as art issues usually don't have a sprint assigned. The program logic did not work there. And we fixed this issue, and now the issue is shown in its normal state, and also the dependency and the criticality is calculated correctly and is shown on the board again. This is going to be released in the next version, and this is the only ticket that's not been released yet. All the other issues can be found in the 4.8.0 release that I'm going to talk about now. Then we fixed another bug with our context panel in the issue detail view. The panel would show an error message when one of the parent issues, or the ancestor issues of the issue that's currently being watched, was not in the Hive anymore. This could be due to the project being moved out of the project hierarchies, or the issue itself was moved into another project that was not in the hierarchy. And yeah, the panel would not render correctly and would show an error message instead. We now fix this to indicating which issue is actually not in the Agile Hive project hierarchy, leaving it up to you to either fix it, move it back, unlink it, or maybe it could also be the case if you want to do that on purpose, and you would want to see historical hierarchical data, you would now be able to do so. Then we had another report of an art report not working or not loading correctly. I suspect that this would trigger on all report pages. In this instance, the art report wouldn't load correctly when the velocity call, that's a subcall of the whole report page, would time out. And the report would render, the velocity widget would still not show data because the call to aggregate all the data for the velocity widget would still work in the background and would then run into a timeout. And then the whole page showed a 504 gateway timeout error instead of just only the single widget not working. We fixed this error in the way that we now only show the affected widget, or we don't show the data for the affected widget, but the rest of the report will still be visible and would work correctly. Only the widget that would run into a timeout wouldn't work correctly. The next bug fix that we tackled was in the team breakout board, where swim lanes for shared service issues would not appear if the shared service issue would have a sprint assigned, which did not have a start and end date, because then we could not calculate where this issue is to be placed in the team breakout board, in which iteration, even though the issue had a due date set, also had a due date set. But the logic would stop at the sprint, would recognize, hey, there's a sprint, so we try to calculate where it is, where it should be placed based on the sprint end date, and did not look further into the due date once it did not found a sprint end date. Yeah, and it led to the whole swim lane for this shared service issue not being rendered at all. And yeah, we fixed this issue as well. And now when we find a sprint that has no start or end dates, we continue with the logic and check for additional factors like a due date. So the next two bug fixes relate to team projects not having Scrum boards. The first was the PI creation from the solution level would run into an error when a team issue somewhere beneath the solution didn't have a Scrum board. It was possible to trigger this calculation, to trigger the creation, but it would break, and also the team project would not have its sprint assigned, and so on and so on. Now, you're still able to start the process, but the process would halt right away and show you a warning message that this PI could not be created because, a certain team is missing its Scrum board. And as you might know, we have the rule that every team must have a primary board assigned, and this primary board has to be a Scrum board. So if there's no Scrum board, there can't be a primary board, and the logic would fail. On team and art level, this would also be shown with a health check warning. So be mindful about your health check, about our health check warnings, as they might indicate problems further down below. We also have an issue in our backlog to show the health check warning for team issues or team projects or arts that have health problems on solution level as well, giving you a better indication if there might be a problem when you want to create a PI from the solution level. Yeah, and as I mentioned, also, there was an issue with the recreate missing sprints for teams that did not have a Scrum board. Obviously, you cannot create sprints if the team doesn't have a Scrum board assigned. This was possible before, or to trigger the process was possible before. Trigger this button. We now disabled the button when there's no Scrum board for the team assigned. Not giving you the opportunity to the chance to break the project. Right. Yeah. Then moving on from the bug fixes to an enabler task or a maintenance task for us. We did several security updates for Jira 9 and Jira 10. They were shown to us through our vulnerability scanner, and we removed some dependencies or updated some dependencies to fix these vulnerability issues for Jira version 9, Jira version 10. Then I'm going to give you a short sneak peek in regard to something that we showed you earlier on our November review. If you remember, on the November review, we presented to you a possibility to export the project hierarchies into a JSON file, also the PI structure. And now we implemented the counterpart of this in our cloud app, in the Agile Hive cloud version. There's now, or there will now be, this is why it's a sneak peek, a possibility in the Agile Hive administration to upload this JSON from the data center version. And it would then try to recreate the project hierarchy structure that you had in Agile Hive Data Center in Agile Hive Cloud. The prerequisite for this is that you would have to have the normal Jira migration already done, and that you would have all the projects from Jira Data Center imported into Jira Cloud and retaining their name and project keys, because that's the indicator where we try to look the projects up and then link them again in the way that they were linked in the data center version. And especially on bigger instances, this should reduce a lot of manual configuration work. And this is just the first step. The next step is then the import of the PIs that were already created within the Agile Hive Data Center version in Agile Hive Cloud, and thus restoring your structure and planned data from data center in Jira Cloud again. Then we're moving over to some announcements. As you might have guessed already, because Atlassian announced their end of life for data center products, we are announcing that Agile Hive Data Center will enter a maintenance mode. And that means that we will shift a part of our development capacities from Agile Hive Data Center towards Agile Hive Cloud. This means usually here there was a preview for a PI that we planned, so that we can give you an update of what features you can expect in the upcoming month. We will no longer do this. We will no longer do a PI planning for Agile Hive Data Center. Instead, we changed to a more Kanban-like style, and we will prioritize our work on tasks that will support the migration from data center towards cloud, as the one you've seen before. Obviously, we'll continue our support. We're tackling bug fixes or small improvements, but also compatibility changes for upcoming Jira versions and security fixes as well, as I just demonstrated earlier. But we will not add any new features to Agile Hive Data Center. This is because we want to bridge the gap between Agile Hive Cloud and Agile Hive Data Center, making it for you a smooth transition from Agile Hive Data Center towards cloud, with the features that you know from Data Center being implemented in cloud then as well. We rescheduled our review, as you might have known. As I just mentioned in the beginning, the new review slot is each first Tuesday of the month at 15 o'clock Central European Time. Here you can find an ICS file to download into your calendar. If you don't have access to this review page, please drop a link in the chat with your email address, and then we will grant you access so that you can access this page on your own. But additionally, we will also share this the recording of this video on YouTube, and there we will also leave a link to our public review page, where you can also download this ICS file to import into your calendar. We did this new review slot on purpose because we want to combine the reviews for Agile Hive Data Center and Agile Hive Cloud. The review for Agile Hive Cloud will start in about 15 minutes at 15:30 CET. So I'd like to invite you, if you are interested in Agile Hive Cloud as well, to stay in this meet or drop in again in 12 minutes to see what we are up to in Agile Hive Cloud. And then we are at the end of our review here, at least for Agile Hive Data Center. I hope I'll see you again in a month's time, on the 3rd of March, as I said before, and wish you all a good day.